Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, welcome to your reading for the week of September 8th through to the 14th. Let's dive in. Rumi Oracle wants to speak some poetry to you, Sagittarius. I have the feeling that you guys are really growing. You guys are in a stage of unanticipated growth with Jupiter and Gemini, and as it's in the third decan, starting on the 8th, Jupiter hits 19 degrees. So you all will have a lot of outer social mobility. You'll have a lot of energy to get things done in new ways, innovative ways, ways that you've never really considered before, which you guys seem to really be open and willing to try most things, but you're also willing to admit where you don't know something, where something can be foraged. And with Mars entering your I believe it's your 6th house, or is it your 8th house of Cancer? Let's see. I gotta look at the wheel. Yep, your 8th house of Cancer this week. You guys have a new depth to uncover in your emotions and maybe even the motivations for some of your newer inspirations, some things that you're inspired to achieve, attain, to go for, ways of communicating that you haven't really accessed yet. We have Whirling Goddess. So you guys might be getting a lot of fresh ideas with this air energy. You guys have a lot of planets in your 11th house, so you guys might be moving around in social spheres. Maybe you're being challenged by people, maybe you're challenging people's narratives, and this might make you the villain in some people's stories. That Whirling Goddess, it gives me the sensation that we're looking at the planet Jupiter, but it's also outer space. So there are some things that you might need to do this week. My hair is actually like wet from swimming, but there's some things that you all might need to do this week that will take balance, it'll take equanimity, and you might have to come out of a former way of thinking about your experiences as maybe victimizing yourself or allowing for other people to victimize you, especially because as Mars is in your 8th house, you all will have a retrograde it'll start during your season, Sagittarius season, while Mars is in Leo. So your 9th house. We're talking about Aquarius, Sagittarius. Yeah, your 9th house. I just got so tripped up because it goes through to Aquarius season, which is your 3rd house. So you'll go from believing in maybe your modes of expression, the ways that you really have invented yourself over this year, and learn to come from a new perspective, perhaps in times of conflict or challenge, and to make the most of your time as a thinker, as a novelist, as a writer. We have passion for purpose. That feels big. You guys might be creating any sort of intellectual property. I don't want to stunt you all at writing. You guys could be working on a podcast. You could be working on a movie. You could be directing plays or be involved locally with theater, or a diving coach or something, to where it's like you're having to collect information and present it in a way that is on a regular and recurring basis. So this, for me, as a Libra sun, it just feels like your social sphere will either love it or they won't. And for those people who dislike it, as long as you're being true to yourself, I sense that your passion for purpose will bring you up out of any misery or despair or overwhelming emotional waves that prevent this outward movement in the world. We have she who offers the sacred wine, so drink. There is this repetitive theme of belief in yourself, and to believe that you got it like that. You are saucy and savage, and you are deliberate in how you are addressing maybe some external world conflict. I'm just picking that up from Pluto being in your 2nd house. It's sort of like, it's giving that there might be some possessions that you have that someone could try to like claim as theirs, or, I just got the word repossess of something. So it's like, if someone were to say, hey, that song beat, you stole my production. You use the same loops that I use, and it's just like my song. You can really look to yourself to see like, okay, well, where have I gotten this inspiration from for this specific production? If it's a theater play, can you be like, yeah, I love Shakespeare. Why not? Like, your play, I'm sure, was great. Maybe we can collaborate. Or do you have the sense of authority and boundaries to be like, this is my intellectual property. I've been taking notes on this since high school. Like, who, you just have to know where the line is. And we have let love transform. A love for yourself is going to transform things the most, Sagittarius. So I'm going to get the mana cards. They were talking to me all morning. Letting love transform is something that will allow for us to know exactly where our thinking belongs. We're going to know we don't belong all day just bashing ourselves or another person, because what we focus on will return to us. It's a boomerang. So if we can focus on peace and contentment and loyalty and maybe even devotion or joy and surprise, those things will come up and they will continue to arise even as some things are shattered, as parts of ourself need to be let go. Maybe there was a part of you that formerly would believe in any criticism or condensation of emotion. We have Poliahu. So she's with the whirling goddess. I love these two together. Oh my gosh. And then she's also like the angel in Arise. But Poliahu is saying to just keep a cool head and coast through any external world dramas, would-be dramas. Don't invest your intention there first. If you decide that you want to have that conversation with a mom from the swim team or someone who has opposed you publicly, do so after you feel really good about yourself so that you're coming from a very balanced place. We have mono, yeah. Some people, they want to see you down, depressed, and in a fight or flight mode, or fawn or freeze. But don't freeze. You got to keep moving. You got to be a shark. You got to be alert and aware. And in the interview I listened today, Rick Rubin and I forget the other guy, Jay Shetty, he said that Rick Rubin said people were not afraid of sharks until the movie Jaws. Jaws changed everything. And, of course, on TikTok, I found some video of a woman who was taking care of a shark. Like, she removed hooks from its mouth, and anytime she goes into the Bahamas, like, she's not a trained professional, but the sharks love her. And it's like she probably has spent lifetimes taking care of sharks, something that we've now made out to be this villainous thing. But really, they're just, like one of my friends, they're like sea puppies. They just want to take a little nibble. They don't want that. Passion for purpose and wa'a. So we're on a journey, and canoes are very sacred, and you have to know the origin story of whatever it is that you're creating. So if you have a new technique for diving, just know that there are so many things that people have introduced through having a clear channel, having an open heart, and having clear communication and a willingness to be vulnerable to create something that people have never seen before. So your passion for your purpose will absolutely guide you this week, Sagittarius. Ooh, love this. Maybe this is you and another, you and your beloved. Someone's bringing the mana, the balance, the meditation, and someone has the sacred wine, so drink. Focus on what you can control, which is your feelings about yourself, your mind, your thoughts, how much you let yourself go down those rabbit holes. And when you pull yourself out and say, you know what, let's just take a walk. Let's physically move our bodies and not be stagnant, caught in an emotion, doing things the same way day in and day out, and honestly be swept into this frenzy. Like we could be swept into a frenzy, devoured by sharks, flee from our purpose, stifle our expression, or we could coast through any challenges, keep it moving, arise, come out of hiding, and just be purely ourselves, have a passion for our purpose, and direct our intention to feeling amazing, Sag, and to balance our mind out with meditation, walking meditation, singing meditation, joy meditations, laughter meditations. There are moments where our energy really can get settled in a feeling and sensation. And if you are fighting for your freedom like me, you got to do whatever it takes, whether that's going for a walk, going for hikes, swimming in the ocean, swimming in lakes, taking cold dips and being uncomfortable to remove stagnant energy. There's even shaking if you don't live near a body of water that you can immerse yourself in. Mo'o. So this is actually giving me another signal of like, you can get ensnared in your thoughts or allow for your thoughts to become something that you can scare away, which letting love transform our thoughts will absolutely put us into a heart-centered coherence with our world, with our reality, with the people around us who they might need our light. Even if they're pulling at it, they might need us to shine brighter so that they understand how to work their way out of a conundrum. Or you might be facing conflict and you don't even realize you're teaching a whole bunch of people how to face conflict in new ways, in more balanced and self-honoring and self-loving ways. Maybe in a past life, Sag, if you guys are coming up against any blocks or impediments this week with Pluto in your second house, maybe in past lives you would have given up. And in this life, you're able to say, you know what? I know who I am now. And call. You have a soul purpose to balance yourself out and to be still enough within yourself and to go so deeply within yourself to where outer projections just bounce right back, and you're able to monitor your life and be very clear about what's coming through for you. You know, if you stand up for yourself and support yourself, and then you get loving, supportive confirmation through various ways, like maybe someone opens the door for you and then you receive that, and you have a dip in the ocean and you see beautiful fish, or you even see a shark and it doesn't come up and bite your leg off. Like, for anyone who that's happened to, that's prayers for you guys. But it's one of those things to where it's like, you might have a very different experience of someone who is trauma informed. You may well be trauma informed, but that doesn't limit you. That doesn't need to box you in. You need to come out of that safety zone, which really doesn't feel that safe. It feels more like a coping mechanism of like maybe some self-punishment, Sag. Let's pull one from the Wild Unknown Archetypes. I also feel that your passion could be stifled by your thinking. So because Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, we don't want to have our expansion stifled. Whenever Jupiter's in the opposite house, it is allowing for us to maybe mature in our relationships and our partnerships. So maybe if some things are coming up that are not in integrity, just trust that when Pluto goes direct, you'll have another chance, another opportunity to exit those karmic cycles. That will be on or around November 15th when Pluto stations direct and then moves back towards Aquarius. So whatever's coming up now is being drained. It's being released from any holding patterns. And holding patterns to me are just like you loop and you loop and you loop and you keep doing it the same way. And you're like, why isn't this working anymore? And it's like, baby, the world is changing. You can't hold on to old ways of, hurting yourself and others and not taking accountability for what you feel. That's the biggest thing, what you feel. Mars is in Cancer. You have the Destroyer. I hope you all are destroying your limited sense of self, because your soul purpose is really calling for a level up, to let love transform. I'm going to read part of the Destroyer. I flipped right to the Creator, and the Destroyer was next. When light, swift and precise blows that redirect our life, and dark, self-destruction, negativity, and unwillingness to rebuild. The Destroyer, the final of the three archetypes in the trio of existence, has necessary yet painful work to do in the world. Culturally, we have an aversion to endings, and we hang on to permanence as a signifier of success. Yet, the Destroyer pulls the rug from underneath relationships, jobs, homes, and all forms of security. It's the part of us that wants things to end. Its painful orientation is to uncover our true purpose. The Destroyer does not let us linger long in comforts, as it knows not much happens in that realm. With its piercing eyes, it seeks out stagnancy from a distance, and the rest becomes history. In the old myths, this is the moment when heads begin to roll, the ground opens up, and castles crumble. Hold on for the ride. The Destroyer has arrived. It's giving Tower card. It's time for the whirling goddess to show you how to leave life-negating situations and scenarios, and to keep a cool head, to allow love to transform your thoughts so that you can have more enriched meetings of minds, meetings of soul purpose, and more fertile transitions as you leave behind stagnant ways of being on your journey to balance out your energy. Sagittarius, we are on, I believe, day 5 of our, no, it's day 6 of our 10-day Miracle Maker started when you started. If you're wanting to manifest anything in your life, I think you guys are due for some changes in your material goods because Pluto is in your second house. So join me. That is live daily for the next couple of days. Take stock of what you have, be grateful for it, and it will multiply. May you be blessed, Sagittarius. Until next time, aloha.